Now, to be honest, shooting lasers on a white background isn't very exciting, so let's add some enemies. I want the enemies to enter the screen from above, and I want enemies to spawn at a regular interval. So to accomplish that, I can use the scene started actions. These are actions that will trigger whenever the scene is started. So whenever the scene starts, I want to create an enemy, and I want to create it somewhere from the far left of the screen to the far right. So say from 0 to 900. And I want to create not just one right now, but I want to create one every 2 seconds. So this is milliseconds, so 2000 means 2 seconds. So now, when the scene is started, I create an enemy from somewhere along the top of the screen every 2 seconds. Let's try this. So I can run the game, and we can see we have enemies spawning now. So every 2 seconds we have an enemy spawning at a random location from the top of the screen. Now, they're spawning inside of the game area. I want to spawn them above so they move into the game area. So we can edit our action by going back to scene started actions and change this value to -100 so they spawn outside of the area. Let's look at this. And now this looks a lot better. They're flying into the screen instead of spawning in the middle of nowhere. So now we have our enemies, but nothing happens when we shoot them. Let's try playing again and I can show you. I can shoot lasers, but the lasers don't do anything. They simply pass through the enemies. And I simply pass through the enemies also. So let's make the game a little bit more interesting. Now we could do this in the direct mode that I showed before, but I'm going to show another way of connecting actions. If I go to the enemy and I press edit, it opens the object manager. Here you can edit actions for events without using the direct mode. So if I go to events, I can go to on collide, which is whenever this object collides with something, and I press add here, and I have all the different objects in my game. So when the enemy collides with the laser, I want to destroy it. Let's add an effect. We can add a fade out effect. So on collide with laser, destroy. And right now. Let's see how this works out. And one of the good things with Arcade Forge is you can make a small change to your game and then immediately see the effect of it. So now you can see the enemies are destroyed whenever they're hit by a laser. But the lasers pass through the enemy, so let's also destroy the lasers when they collide with the enemy. To do that, we need to go to the laser and press edit, and then once again go to events, on collide. And here you can see we collided with the border top in the direct mode before, so it has added an entry here. So anything you do in the direct mode, you can edit in the object manager. So if you mistakenly click past something in the direct mode, you can go back to the object manager and change it afterwards. But we want to set up an action for when we collide with the enemy. So when the laser collides with the enemy, we want to destroy it, and we can also fade it out. Let's try this. So now you saw the laser and the enemy were destroyed at the same time. So that's a little bit of an introduction to the object manager.